welcome to the shot of the day. Let's talk some Kansas City. Wait a minute. Chiefs and chokers, Chiefs and chokers, Chiefs and chokers, Chiefs and chokers. That should be the new chant for the Chiefs kingdom, because once again, the kingdom has been played a fool. Every kingdom needs a court jester, needs a fool. And who is this kingdom's fool? The fans are a fool, because unlike the Who, we did get fooled again, thinking that the Chiefs could win in the playoffs. But let's face it, let's wake up, Chiefs Kingdom, to the reality of what this franchise is. It's a historically losing franchise. It's a record-breaking losing. It's not even fair to call the Chiefs losers. I mean, losers are embarrassed to be associated with the Chiefs. You can't even rename the Chiefs the Falcons. The Falcons are laughing at us. I've never seen such a big choke job. I mean, there's gay porn actors going, man, they really choked. That's frightening. That's coming from gay porn actors. Come on, Chiefs Kingdom. Stop supporting, stop enabling this sick, mentally ill franchise. How did the Chiefs give that away? Well, this game was a perfect representation of the entire season, and really a historic kind of flashback of what the Chiefs are. But this game really encapsulated what this season was. It was a tale of two seasons. It was a tale of two halves. I mean, we are a half-assed team. We are a half-witted team coached by half-wits. There is plenty of blame to go around. The players are to blame. The coaches are to blame. Yeah, you can blame the refs, but can you really when you have an 18-point lead at home with this alleged offense? It shouldn't matter. It should not matter. But the Chiefs choked. I mean, you could just see it. You know, when Titans scored their first touchdown, there was a collective tightening of assholes in the stands. Seats were being plucked from the stands because sphincters created such a suction. And the coaches, I mean, good Lord. Yeah, you want to blame the refs? Jeff Triplett retired. That tells you something. He looked like an old man out there, running like an old man, probably because he had a full diaper, because he was definitely shitting the bed on his calls. But that shouldn't matter. You can't blame them. You can't even blame Alex Smith. I mean, he had a great first half, and yes, the RPO, he may have blown run-pass option in the second half. RPO may stand for really pussy offense, because, you know, game manager. Alex Smith played a great game. I wish him the best. I think he goes to the Cardinals. We have to trade him. We have to change something, okay? We have to change the losing culture that the Chiefs Kingdom continues to enable. First, the Kingdom needs to boycott some games, even with Mahomes starting. You got to hit these guys where it hurts. And Clark Hunt, you know, all he understands is he's a CFO mentality. He understands more of the team than I thought he did. But you got to hit these CFO types in the pocketbook. That's all they get is numbers. That's why he backs, you know, Alex Smith, Andy Reid, because he reads the percentages of, oh, he always wins the AFC West. Who gives a shit about winning the division? In my mind, it's all about the playoffs and a Super Bowl. I mean, maybe what we could have done is grab that little person that ran across the field to pick up the tee. Somebody capture him. I think when you capture a leprechaun, they got to give you a pot of gold. Maybe we can barter and get a Lombardi trophy instead. That's the only chance the Chiefs have of winning a Super Bowl. You can't put this much pressure on Mahomes. You can't make this guy to be out the savior. Okay, he's not Jesus Christ Mahomes. I think he's going to be great if Andy Reid doesn't instill this culture of fear, because the Chiefs were afraid. Everything was based on fear, you know, this year. Alex Smith is afraid when he gets towards the end of the game. At least he ended his career going balls deep. It didn't work. I blame Sex Machine a little bit of that. Sex Machine, Albert Wilson, got a little alligator arms. Probably should have taken some Viagra to get those arms out there and be a big dick player. But there were no big dick players in this game. No BDP. Yeah, maybe in the first half, but the first half is just that. It's just half a game. You know, no one cares. You know, I mean, if you're tapping some ass, if you only go, you know, half a stroke, you're not even a two-pump chump. Doesn't count, all right? You got to go balls deep from three-point range. Come on now. 4 quarters. This whole year, we played first 5 games. Great. The second, 6 games were more like what this Chiefs team is. It's ridiculous. I mean, Alex Smith, I wish him the best. I think he goes to the Cardinals. We get a first, probably a second-round pick for him. Get something. We need some offensive line help. It's so frustrating because we played a perfect game in the first half, but we can't close. ABC, always be closing. You want to get the Cadillac, not the steak knives, or not just try to protect your job, because when you manage a game, you just manage to lose. Even our offensive line played like some BDPs, but they came up BVPs, big vag players, big vagina players. Their vaginas were so big, you bang one of those Chiefs players, it'd be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. It'd be a baseball bat and a garbage can. We're talking some BVP there. Big vagina players. Big vag players. Big vag players. Everybody was. I mean, yeah, the refs, Derek Johnson had this sack. It should have been, a fumble recovery, but we were still up by 18.5. When you're at home, 18 with that offense, it shouldn't happen. I don't care if Kelsey got ear-holed, though I think that should have been a penalty, but that's old school steel curtain football right there. Dick LeBeau, 80 years old, goes, you know what? Ear-hole the guy. I've been ear-holed the previous week when I had to listen to that chick call the game. At least we had dudes calling the game, so I didn't get ear-holed like Kelsey, going, where the hell am I, having to listen to a chick call the game? At least we had dudes calling the game, and that couldn't even help the Chiefs. Excuse me, I'm sick. I got the red flu. Just watching the Chiefs game gave me the flu. If I look at anything Chiefs related or Jeff Triplett related, I may crap myself. I got the red flu. But, was it Alex Smith's fault? Partially. Would have Mahomes done better? Maybe. He could have, in that last 2-minute drive, maybe he could have pulled off a miracle. Maybe he would have thrown an interception. It's not about this year anymore. It's over. We got fooled again. You got to boycott something. You got to do something. The kingdom has got to throw some support behind, like the Mavericks. It's too bad we don't have an NBA team, something we can, divert our attention and teach the Chiefs ownership and management and coaching a lesson. You can't give them this, because there is no more home field advantage. Chiefs Kingdom, you're wasting your time. I don't give a shit if you're the loudest stadium. They don't care. Opposing teams do not fear the Chiefs Kingdom anymore. You're a fairy tale. You're a storybook. It's not reality anymore. You're as effective as the kingdom was in The Walking Dead. You are now either dead or The Walking Dead. The kingdom is ineffective other than enabling Andy Reid, who, look, you can't fire him because who's out there? I mean, you got Gruden come into the AFC West, which is going to cause some problems for the Chiefs. Andy Reid should be good as a tutor for Mahomes. He should help Mahomes along, but you're going to have to fire Andy Reid about after 2 years of tutelage because he can't win a playoff game. He just can't. He gets scared, and, you hate to rip on a guy personally, but maybe he doesn't have the discipline because, look, guys with weight control, maybe you like to say, oh, this guy's so busy working and putting his heart and soul into it, he lets himself go. That's right. You know what? Maybe he needs to stop overthinking everything like he does the offense. I don't know even who's calling the offense. Is it Nagy doesn't have to worry about being hired as a head coach now? Just let me tell you that. And fire Bob Sutton yesterday. They should have Lane Kiffined his ass and just not even let him in the locker room after that loss. We need changes across the board. This is why I wish Alex the best. I hope he goes to Arizona and is competitive closer to home. I wish him the best. We got to start Mahomes. We got to get him some offensive line help. Our offensive line are BVPs. They're good for half a game, and then they start tripping over their strings, if you know what I mean, all right? They can't get it done in the second half. Our defensive line, losing Chris Jones, he's got a torn MCL. That's bad. He'll be back next year. That's great. But you can't lose, one guy on defense, Chris Jones, one guy on offense, and just completely fall apart because Robinson stepped up and got a touchdown. I don't know what happened. I mean, even if Alex Smith had the RPO, which is the buzzword, the bomb cyclone, as we'll call it, because it makes about as much sense as a bomb cyclone, because it does sound like a toilet issue, as does frickin' RPO. I gotta take an RPO in the shitter. RPO's full. I mean, run pass option. Yeah, if they're stacking the box, you know, at least throw deep. The sideways shit's not going to work because they're already up at the line, all right? Another Alex Smith problem, but go ahead and run the ball. You got, the stats are there. The fans who support Alex Smith are enamored with stats, okay? Meaningless stats, because the only stats I care about are playoff wins and Super Bowl wins. Mariota, crappy freaking stats. Crappy stats, but he won the game, and he's going on to next week. Probably be the end. And in a sense, the Titanics gave us a Titanic mercy killing, all right? They were just like Kate Winslet, just letting DiCaprio drown. You can't share the door with us. We're going to let you drown. We're going to put you out of your misery because you're going to die anyway because you're not beaten. This team could not have beat the Patriots a second time or the Steelers. I mean, good Lord. I mean, who was the most sane player on this team in that game? The best player? And I'll give him, you know what? I'll hand out one BDP. One BT, even though the team does not deserve it. But I'll eat a little crow, too. I'll give the BDP to Marcus Peters. He's the only one that showed up. He's the only one that cared. I mean, he's crazy. He's mentally unstable, and I think he will cost us a game, hopefully not a playoff in the future. And I don't know about giving a lot, but he and I have a lot more respect for him now, especially at the end of the game when some freaking stupid-ass Chiefs Kingdom fans are there cheering on Andy Reid. I don't know if you saw the video. They're going, "That a boy, Andy Reid. We still love you. We still love you, big boy. We still love you." And then Marcus Peters, let's go, Marcus. Let's go. And Marcus goes, "Shit, where we going? Home? Shit, where we going? Home?" Love it. I love me. Give him the BDP. Not necessarily for what he did in the game, though he played well. But, you know, he's the only one. Speak truth. Truth. True story, Marcus. I don't care what's going on out on the field. This is the truth. This is the truth. Shit. That explains the whole game. Shit. Where are we going? Home. I'm losing my mind. I'm as mentally unstable as Marcus Peter. That's why birds of a feather, I can recognize Cuckoo bird, Marcus Cuckoo, but he cared. He came to play. He's the only one he even tackled a dude, had a good stick, where Darrelle Revis couldn't tackle anybody, batting balls away, you know, playing volleyball, badminton with the ball to Marcus Mariota. I mean, that's a play Alex Smith couldn't play. Could do. Alex Smith doesn't trust a lot of his receivers, and he's afraid to throw down the field. Marcus Mariota single-handedly pretty much beat us by playing quarterback, running back, and fullback. He lit up fucking Zombo. BVP. There's your lead. Zombo got lit up. Big veg player. Zombo. But come on. I mean, Marcus Mariota, this is the mindset. This is why we need to go with a young guy, a homegrown guy. Alex Smith, do you think he could be creative enough? He goes, you know I don't trust my receiver. I'll just throw one to myself. Marcus Mariota goes, you know, Eric Decker, he got a touchdown later, but his receivers are dropping. He doesn't have great receivers. He'll just throw one to himself and do it all himself, and he did it. That's what you need. That's a BDP. Mariota's stats, crap. Had a crap year. But you know when he showed up? Playoffs. That's when he showed up, and that's what you need. I don't care about the stats in the regular season. I could give a shit. Yeah, you want wins. You want to get in the playoffs, but all that matters is a playoff win. I'm taking time off from the Chiefs Kingdom, you know, until, like I said, we got to stick with Reid. Probably for 2 years just to groom Mahomes, then get rid of him, and hopefully he doesn't infect him with the fear culture. Because everyone in this team, they lose confidence way too easy. They play afraid, afraid to lose, which means they will lose. Everyone's afraid. The only reason Alex Smith did perform is because he played fear, worked for a while, until fear eventually dries your throat out and you're going to choke. All right, and that's what happened at the end with Alex Smith. Though he threw it down the field, it was a little overthrown, like I said. Albert Wilson could have dove, could have extended the T-Rex arms, Jurassic World style, and genetically engineered. Get those BDPs out there. I mean, good Lord. Could Mahomes done better? Maybe. I mean, he's either going to win that or throw an interception. But it doesn't matter. No one was tackling. Nobody was tackling. Granted, we had some big plays. Derek Johnson made his last big play, though the ref didn't see it. The play that will not be seen by our ref. And it was at the 2-minute warning of the first half. Some rule changes have to go, but you cannot blame the refs. The Chiefs did this to themselves. The Titans spotted you 18. They spotted you 18. Yeah, we gave them back. The refs gave them back 3. You know, they basically spotted us 21. The refs gave them back 3. Spotted you 18 at home. All you got to do is go run the ball. Like I said, stats show that Kareem Hunt runs the ball 20-plus times, you win the game. He ran at 11. Those in love with Alex Smith and the stats, where was that stat? Why was that not considered? Go, hey, we need to run the ball 9 more times to win this game. And I think that was the difference. I don't care if they stack the box. You got the RPO. At least run it a few times, all right? And that just proves, too, that Alex Smith had no confidence in his offensive line. And maybe he shouldn't. They're weak, you know. I mean, come on. They just are. They're not nasty. Look at what the Rams did. I think it was Andrew Whitworth. They got a left tackle. Completely changed their offense. You got to have a better line. We need a better line to help Mahomes. Mahomes can't be Jesus, okay, without the apostles. And Mahomes can be Jesus, you know, as long, you know, as you got the apostles as the offensive line. And that's what you need, because you need those apostles, you know, beating the shit out of the, you know, every play. The apostles. The apostles. We will kick your ass, heal you, kick your ass, heal you, kick your ass again. That's what Jesus and the apostles will do. It's Mahomes and the offensive line. It's freaking Jesus and the apostles. That is what we need. And we need the same mentality on the defensive line and the linebackers. Like I said, you get a good pass rush, you get good linebacking, you can get away with, you know, half-ass corners. They'll look better. Look at all the defenses yesterday that had trust, and they, like the Saints, you know, they got Cameron Jordan, makes their average corners look better, and it paid off. Same with freaking, you know, the Panthers. All these teams are in it have got trust in their defenses. We have no trust. We cannot tackle. It's embarrassing. The Darrelle Revis ended up being a mistake. Maybe he brought some leadership. You don't bring him back. He gave up on a lot of plays. You know, I hate to say gave up. I think he's just too old to make the plays. And him batting the ball to Mariota, that's a freak. But it's just the Chiefs' losing culture, their fear culture. We should get sponsored by No Fear. Is that company still around? Some No Fear gear? Drop Under Armour, which should just be replaced by Depends because we shit ourselves constantly. And the refs should be also sponsored by Depends. Is that a catch? Depends. Is that a fumble forward part? Depends. I just shit myself. No shit. It's disturbing. But this game just encapsulated the entire season. Really the entire past 3 decades. I've been a fan for over 40 years, which would be 4 decades. And we're never going to see a Super Bowl. We will not see a Super Bowl with Andy Reid. The issue is, how long do you keep him to groom Mahomes? What is that critical, you know, mass point? Where is that point of no return? The point of diminishing returns, where you get Mahomes where he needs to be, let Andy Reid out of there and bring a guy in, a young guy that can win. Look at all the young quarterbacks and the young coaches in the league. Let me go through my notes of the game. First half of the game, played a perfect game. Everybody did. O-line protection, except for Tyreek. Dropped a lot of balls. He was overhyped. Probably a mistake having to do in kickoff returns. Once again, this whole team overthinks too much. We got to limit them in what they do. The D even got a 3 and out in the beginning. Houston looked good. But, you know, Kelsey and Tamba Hali, old, got to go. Zamba got to go. You know, he's a good backup. But, you know, we scored as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, Hunt. 2, Kelsey. 3, Hill. That's all you got to do. 1, 2, 3. It'll eventually be a touchdown. That's your progression. Easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Mahomes will get that. Alex Smith got it in the first half. Somehow got confused by the RPO in the second half. Couldn't get it done. And a lot of that is play calling. I'm not throwing Alex Smith under the bus. Thank you for your time here. And do us a favor. Go have a good career. And I will root for him there. But, you know, we need to get, hopefully, a first round. Kind of get back some of what we gave up to get Mahomes. Probably may only get a second. I don't know. But like I said, I'm going to leave the kingdom for a while. I'm becoming a Saints fan for the rest of this season. If they lose, maybe go to the Eagles, though. I would be an Eagles fan if it was Wentz was still there, because Pederson's there, whatever his name is, ex-Chief. But I don't think they can get it done. The Falcons are no more than the Chiefs. Falcons, that's one and the same. Chiefs and chokers. Chiefs and chokers. Falcons. The Falcons come in like this. crash land. Kelsey got ear hold. I think that was old school LeBeau, steel curtain, do it on purpose. I got no problem with that. 5 years ago, Kelsey would have been back in the second half, and maybe he was okay to come back in, and they go, we got this game wrapped up. We're going to just sit on the ball and do nothing. We'll save him for next week. But you can't really, it wasn't, all these things. There are so many reasons the Chiefs lost. You can't pin it on any one thing. Let's see. We've talked about the refs, talked about Kelsey. Robinson didn't get as involved in the second half. Great in the first half. We had some dumb penalties again, especially on, special teams. We got a lucky fumble recovery. Butt kicker. Butt licker. It's good his name is Butt. Because you know what lives in butt? Poop. And he pooped the field. He just... Kickers, this is why I hate kickers. Even Butt... This was his job, That's his only job. There's guys in the Saints-Panthers game kicking 57, 58-yarders, granted indoors, but it wasn't a bad day at Arrowhead. It was a 40. He had plenty of leg, and he chokes. Another choker. We'll call him Elliott Butt Kicker or Elliott Butt Licker. The kicker who shall not be named. Oh, terrible third quarter. Are we cursed? You make your own curses. And I woke up in the morning and I saw that Mizzou basketball loss, how we lost to Florida. Pretty much figured there was something it could go bad. The quick whistle once again, Triplett, blew the whistle on that 2-point conversion. She got 2 points back, but like I said, you can't blame any one thing. You just can't blame. We have no legit number 2 receiver. We need to make it if that's going to be Robinson, if Conley comes back, but he hasn't shown to really step. We need more receivers. Our backup tight ends are terrible. They're 50-50. They catch it, drop it. They're just not consistent. Then they get penalties. We just have no depth. We're pretenders. We're soft. Gruden's coming in with nothing to fear. Talk about no fear. Gruden should have nothing to fear. We talked about Sex Machine dropping that ball. Revis sign did us no favors, really. This team is just it's like waiting. It's like, it feels entitled. It's like a spoiled title. Oh, look how good we did the first half. We deserve the second half. We're entitled, okay? Silver spooners when they've done. They're babies. They're Justin Biebers. They're the Chiefs. They're the BDPs, Bieber dick players, because they're waiting for their nuts to drop, and they're actually BVPs. See if you can make that sense. And I should have known. It's the culture of the hunt. The Chiefs Christmas party sucked. It's not a winning culture. It's not a winning franchise history. They got to change the culture. It starts at the top. Good Lord. Even the media is so in the bag for the Chiefs here and makes excuses. Channel 9 running the Chiron at the bottom of the the media can't even get it right. They're such in denial they even put on Channel 9 that the Chiefs won the game. I am sick. Sorry, I apologize for that. We talked about less than 20 runs. Nagy doesn't have to worry about it getting into... You know what? Crime can never be committed against the Chiefs? Identity theft. Because no one would want to be identified as a Chiefs player or a Chiefs fan. They don't ever have to worry about, identity theft. No one's stealing their identity. Marcus Peters, I do love you now. Shit. Where are we going? Home? I love that, Marcus. I have a new respect for you because of that honesty, and it showed that you really cared, and you were the only one that really just didn't lock up. You actually even tackled for a change. I apologize for my disparaging remarks, even though I think you're crazy, and I'm crazy, so I can recognize cuckoo. You got to work on that in the off season, especially before you get a big contract. There's a lot of little things. Yeah, you can go over the minutia of the refs. Did Mariota step on the line when who cares? You have an 18-point lead at half. That's all that matters. If you're a BDP, you slam the door. And the Chiefs have never been able to put their foot on the gas. They freaking pump the brakes as they're getting pumped in the tukits in the second half. All right? It's ridiculous. They just don't have the killer instinct, and that goes to Andy Reid. He just doesn't have the killer instinct. He probably doesn't have the discipline, like I said. Dude, go work out. Get your weight down. Stop overthinking every little... You're overthinking everything. You got to have some discipline. when it came to Marcus, who I now like, at least for this week, we'll see how he does next year. It took him too long to decide to suspend him. Right after the game, when he threw that flag and then changed his socks, I don't know what was going on there. Should have suspended him immediately. He overthinks everything. He's just too nice, and a lot of it. And I don't, like I said, people that are overweight. Sometimes that's a discipline problem. Sometimes it's a medical. Sometimes it's a discipline. And he's had a lot of tragedy in his life, Andy Reid, and he may be overcompensating. He may be afraid to be harsh, just because of the tragedy in his personal life. And I said that when he first got hired. He probably should have taken, a year off to deal with that. And maybe all this is coming out now, and it's affecting the team. And I wish Andy the best, because we need him to groom Mahomes. But I only see Andy being viable in that role, grooming Mahomes. He needs to let go of the play calling completely. Get some guy, new defensive coordinator, new attitude. We need that Bill Cowher old school attitude on the defense. Got to tackle. Simple stuff. Block and tackle. Simple stuff. Block and tackle. And then you get the block and tackle, and then you can air the shit out of it. You can run it. You can air it out. You can have some fun. You get some turnovers. And then you go to a Super Bowl. Probably coughing up some Chiefs gear. But Chiefs Kingdom, do me a favor. Hold off on buying your season's tickets. Just buy them game by game. Don't scare the shit out of the hunts. Don't buy gear. Stop buying gear. I haven't bought gear or tickets for 5 years because I've been upset with this. And I'm trying to get you guys. I practice what I preach. I watch the games on TV, I do these videos, but I invest my time. I don't even want to tell you how much money I've spent over 40 years on Chiefs game and gotten zero return. Either, obviously, you don't expect a financial return, unless you're gambling, but an emotional return. And the only emotional return I'm getting is I'm getting kicked in the nuts so much to the point where my nuts I have to wait for my nuts to drop like most Chiefs players do, because they're Bieber badge players, BVP. Oh, it's just disturbing. Those are the changes, and it's going to be, you're going to get some excitement next year with Mahomes. He's going to win some games, and he's going to look great with that BDP arm. He's going to get some interceptions. He's going to lose some games. Next year, we have to see how the offseason goes, but with Gruden at the Raiders, I think you're going to see a turnaround there. And all teams are going to improve next year, except maybe the Chargers, because Rivers is getting older. But they're still a good team. The Chiefs, you're looking at, if they start Mahomes from the beginning, I'm thinking 8-8. Though Andy Reid does love to focus, all he cares about is winning the division, and he's great off the bye week. I don't give a shit about being great off the bye week or winning the division. I'll win a playoff game. Win a playoff game. That's all I care about. So it's too early to tell. You got to see at the draft. But right now, you'd have to see the Chiefs with Mahomes because of the learning curve and the changes, as an 8-8 team. Outside looking in to get in the playoffs, maybe. The Raiders with Gruden, maybe they're the favorites. I don't know. It's too early to tell. I'll get into that later. But I'm tired of wasting my time. I'm just telling Chiefs Kingdom, stop doing the tailgates for a while. I know it's fun, but what are you guys getting out of it? You're enabling bad behavior from the ownership and the coaches. You got it, because the home field advantage is gone. So what you guys are doing is, if you want to get drunk, go to a bar and watch it. Or start putting support in just for a little bit until Mahomes, gets around. Because like I said, the home field advantage, no team is afraid of playing the Chiefs. And the noise, all teams are poised under noise now. The noise doesn't seem to bother teams anymore, because they can also sense, as soon as they score, it takes the crowd out of it, and they can sense the fear in the crowd too. Everybody's afraid, and we got to stop that. So maybe we need to take a step back. Like I said, I'm going Aragon. I'm going to become a ranger. I'm leaving the Chiefs Kingdom for a little bit. I'll be on the outskirts, keeping an eye and commenting, but I'm going to be Aragon. And then one day there'll be a return of the king to the kingdom, because I will not be played a fool again. Chiefs. Love you guys.